What about Acosta? Well, he needs to find something. A faller into turn 1 at the start of the session. Just got the lean angle there, Acosta. Look how much he's leaning off the right-hand side of that gas machine through turn 3. Spectacular to watch, isn't he, the rookie?
If you listen to the throttle here, how you're spending so much of this time and lap on a partial throttle, just adjusting it here and there, like obviously accelerating down the hill here, but
all the beast. Enea Bastianini's gone down. Now is that also? It is. It's an 11, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag, which is going to hurt Acosta.
No.
Acosta has had to back out of it.
So quite a few. Oh, it's there again.
Well, as we mentioned, the yellow flags.
Ralph Waldman turn again.
He's properly shaken up there, isn't he, Enea Bastianini?
Cold front. Oh, that's clearly cold front. To give you an idea what that feels like for the listeners, it's kind of like when the temperature goes out, it's like the tyres turned to plastic, you know, on tiles, rather than the nice, amazing grip they have. Incredible grip they have when they're hot. Around 10 times harder than street tyres, so they have to be heated up by blankets and then kept in that range. Otherwise, like I said, it feels like they turn to plastic.
It's been a good number of years since we've had this kind of carnage going through the Waldman curve here. The latest victim then is Bastianini. We're on board with the Italian now. He flicks it right about 190 kilometers an hour and didn't come out the other side, unfortunately. That was a costly mistake for Enea, costly for Acosta as well. He still finds himself down in 13th place, had to roll out of it with the yellow flags. Miller at the moment 12th. He's just set the fastest first sector of the session, back with Ralph Vinales. He does safely negotiate at that perilous turn 11. So look at Jack Miller coming through the second sector now on the factory KTM. He's lost a bit of time in that tight and twisty part of the Sachsenring, but if he carries this on, I was going to say that will be good enough. And at the moment, it's all about being inside that top 10 as far as Miller is concerned. Over the line, Ralph Vinales comes down. He is in the risk zone. He's in the danger zone in that P10. Morbidelli's gone up to 7. Martin Fines a 1:20.050. He's up into 4th place now. Just keeping a close eye at the corner of my eye on Marquez, who still sits in 8th place. Clear that he's not venturing back out on circuit now with just over 3 minutes remaining. So Marquez will be rather anxiously looking at the screens.
I thought I saw someone zoom across the back of the screen, and something happened there in the background.
Acosta and Miller have found themselves inside the top 10. 3 minutes remaining.
Yes.
It is great spot, Simon. Great spot. Remy Gardner, the Alex Rins injury replacement.
That looked fast. I think he lost the front or ran off straight ahead, but going quick.
Now then, Marc Marquez is going to be increasingly anxious, increasingly nervous, because the hot laps that just came in from Acosta and Miller have pushed Marquez down to 10th place. There's the replay of Remy Gardner just going down the road into that final corner. And this has brought out the yellow flag. They just got through there, didn't they? Probably, well, it's certainly too late for Fabio Quartararo. So as it stands then, it's Vinales, Oliveira, Alex Marquez, your top 3. Martin Bagnaia and Bastianini inside the top 6. Acosta, Miller, Morbidelli and Marc Marquez by the skin of his teeth. In fact, it has just changed. Ralph Vinales with over 2 minutes remaining of the session. Shaken ahead there from Gresini Racing, because Fernandez's 1:20.344 has finally pushed Marquez out of the top 10.
Jorge Martin just leapt up to 2nd there too, Matt.
Yeah, Jorge finding a 1:19, his first of the day so far. So it's Ralph Vinales then that's inflicting more pain on Marquez, as the 1:20.384 is not going to be good enough. It's so close. As it stands at the moment, Marc Marquez out of Q2 by not even 200.
I actually feel sorry for Marc, and I don't often, because he's just so tough. And but what an effort. He almost did it in one lap, you know, with hardly any practice.
A tough day, and that'll be a tough one to take, won't it, as he finds himself now going further back. He's now, what, in 13th place. Morbidelli's going for it. 7th place now for the Tama rider. The Gian Antonio up to 9th with a 1:20.281. Wasn't that long ago we've fairly broken that right column. And Binder also up into the top 10. What about Quartararo on the factory Yamaha? 14th, the best from the Frenchman at the moment.
And he got the previous lap cancelled, had to have another go. And I wonder if it was just not, you know, too many laps on the tyre. It was probably the 3rd one, that one.
Yeah, frustration there from Quartararo. He knows that session over for him. He's got the best out of those Michelin soft tyres. The Gian Antonio at the moment pushing on a hard lap as he needs, so we'll pick him up now on the 49 machine. As it stands right now, with 40 seconds remaining, is 9th, and going into Q2, which would be a proper rescue job from the Italian. 15 successive top 10 finishes. That's why he's hot property in the rider market for next year. Gian Antonio looks like he will be moving into Q2 directly. Alex Marquez is just behind him. Alex, who led this session for a short period a few moments ago, is Didier improving on 9th place. He will get one more lap at it as well. Stays in 9th. That's going to be good enough, though. Certainly better than his teammate Marco Bezzecchi, who's just having a dreadful time. Bez 19.
What a great job. The yellow flag out again, Matt. There's so many riders will
Final
lose
corner.
their laps in this session. You know, they'll be going to debriefs tonight. They're going to be really grumpy about losing their best laps.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Jack Miller with one of them.
Got to say, fantastic job from him. Unreal.
Yeah, something special. He's had to dig proper deep, hasn't he, for that low 120, which looks like it will be good enough. The bravery, the skill will be rewarded. There's plenty of pain, there's a lot of gain for Gian Antonio, because it does look like at the moment he will be in Q2, although let's just keep a close eye. Binder's had a rapid first sector. Yellow flags are out in sector. It was Johan Zarco that went down at turn 13 shortly after we saw Remy Gardner also crash out. Now that the yellow flags have cleared, Jack Miller, though, unfortunately, is going to find himself in Q1. He's missing out by 1,000th of a second. We talk about fine margins in MotoGP. Well, it does not get any finer than that, does it? Miller takes the checkered flag, and he will not be directly in Q2, at least. Big group of riders here, including Bastianini. He did pretty well to get back to his spare factory Ducati. He's back out on circuit. The crash that he had, the heavy crash late on at turn 11, will not compromise his Q2 hopes. Bastianini will be in 6th place.
Another awesome effort.
Well, that 60-minute practice session here, which was disrupted just before the halfway juncture with the crash at turn 1 for Fabio Gian Antonio, it felt like he had 9 rounds worth of drama in it, didn't it?
The Gian Antonio incident, we thought, or I thought, he'd broken his right collarbone. Obviously he'd hurt something and he'd survived, and I've seen that before, Matt, with motocrossers. I grew up riding motocross, then the ones that I did grow up with, I supported them, went to watch, and by the time they became professionals, even world champions, believe it or not, their bodies get such a hammering. I've seen them crash and their mum, who's so experienced, run out and help them put in a dislocated shoulder, knee, because they've done it so often. It may have been something like that, a partial dislocation, you know, shoulder-wise, and then wriggle around, get it back in the right spot, something like that.
You can't believe, can you, Sam, if we'd have said that he was going to be in Q2 after lying in that gravel trap, clutching that right shoulder, you'd have said absolutely no chance, not a hope in hell. But there he is in 9th place. Absolutely outstanding job by Didier, an outstanding job as well by Maverick Vinales. What a lap that was, a 1:19.622 in really difficult, demanding conditions, as we know, because of the number of crashes in that session. That is more like it, Miguel, much more like it.
Back where he belongs, really. He's been missing since that horrible start to the season he had last year, and it would be so good to see him back where he belongs regularly.
Yeah, 55th Grand Prix this, since his last drive podium here at the Sachsenring. Aprilia factory, Aprilia camp, very, very happy. New all-time lap record, 1:19.622. Some ride that by Vinales. 2 Aprilias inside the top 3.